Okay, your NFL Week 6 prediction. So looking at the first game, you have the Titans versus the Colts. The Titans are coming off a bye, but before the bye, they did not look good. Will Levis, I'm not sure if he's going to play this game or not, but he looked terrible. The offense looked terrible. The defense looked somewhat respectful, while the Colts, they're coming off a loss against the winless Jaguars. Or they were winless, and the Colts, to me, I think their offense looks better with Joe Flacco, and JT should be back for this game, so that's another boost to the offense. I think that Colts offense is better than Titans defense, and I don't trust the Colts defense at all. However, like I said, I like the Colts offense more of a strength than the Titans defense. So I'm going to take the Colts here, but it is a divisional game, so anything can happen. Then you have the second game, the Texans versus the Patriots. The only thing the Patriots have going for them is a couple of good players on defense and home field advantage. Other than that, I think the Texans have all the advantages. Patriots are going to be starting Drake May, and he's going to get destroyed behind that Patriots offensive line. Patriots have no weapons. They don't even have an offense so far this season, and the Texans have a pretty good defense, so I'm going to take the Texans here. Then you have the Raiders versus the Steelers. I believe Aiden O'Connell is going to be starting for the Raiders, and I'm not sure if he's going to be better than Minshew, who was very bad in the loss versus the Broncos last week, or not very bad, but pretty bad. I'm not sure if that's going to have a huge impact, considering the Steelers' defense has been good, but not great. And then I think Steelers are slightly more balanced. That Raiders' defense hasn't been playing that good, and even though this game's on the road, I think that Steelers' offense has showed some improvement, so I'm going to take the Steelers here. Then you have the Chargers versus the Broncos. Chargers are coming off a bye. I'm not sure if Herbert's going to be playing, but I kind of do expect him to play. While the Broncos, they're coming off a win versus the Raiders. Having the Broncos won 3 straight games now. Their offense still, to me, is not great, but has been getting better. But it's that Broncos defense. They've been pretty much shutting down every single opponent. And Chargers, their offense, all right against some lower tier opponents, and their defense has also been alright. This one, I think, is a divisional game. I think with the home field advantage and a very good defense, I'm going to take the Broncos here. Then you have the Bills versus the Jets. Jets just fired their head coach. That could be good. That could be bad, but at the same time, that could be good, since interim head coach usually have a boost in their first couple of games. So the Bills better watch out. However, if Josh Allen is playing this game, the Bills are the better team. That Bills defense has been playing really good. Especially in the second half versus the Texans last week. And that Bills offense, even though haven't been great, they've been alright. And while the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to struggle, and the Jets defense is good, but is good. I'm still going to take the Bills here. Josh Allen, I still trust him. Then you have the Bears versus the Jaguars. This game, Bears have looked better. Caleb Williams has looked better. DeAndre Swift has looked better. That Bears defense has been good throughout the season. I think the Bears might be one of the better teams in the league right now. While the Jaguars, they did get a win over the Colts. Trevor did look better. However, that Jaguars defense is still terrible. So I'm going to take the Bears here. Then you have the Commanders versus the Ravens. A surprisingly good game. To start with the Ravens, they've won 3 straight. Their defense is still a concern, so that's something to watch out for. However, their offense lights out right now, especially on the 3-game win streak. Derrick Henry has been excellent. Lamar has been excellent, and that Commanders defense has been playing better the last couple of weeks, but I don't think they'll be good enough to stop Lamar or that Ravens offense. So it's going to be a shootout, and I got to take the more experienced quarterback here, so I'm going to take Lamar. Then you have the Eagles versus the Browns. Browns are a dumpster fire right now. The Eagles aren't great either, but they are coming off a bye, and they have the better quarterback, so I'm going to take the Eagles here. Then you have the Giants versus the Bengals. Giants, Daniel Jones has looked better. They come off a big win over the Seahawks last week. Cincinnati come off a loss versus the Ravens. However, I don't think that Giants secondary can stop Joe Burrow. I do think that Daniel Jones is going to have a better game, and this one's going to be a somewhat tight game, but I think the Bengals offense is more prolific than the Giants. So I'm going to take the Giants here, or the Bengals here. Both of these teams' defenses are kind of iffy. You have Thursday night game, the Niners versus the Seahawks. Seahawks, they've lost 2 in a row. They're looking really fraudulent. They should be getting some pieces back on defense. And their offense, to me, is still pretty good with Geno, DK. However, they have struggled in the past versus the Niners. Niners did not look good against the Cardinals, and they've also been kind of fraudulent. However, I think that Niners defense is still very good, and the Niners have looked better the last couple of weeks compared to the Seahawks. So I'm going to take the Niners here. Then you have the Cardinals versus the Packers. Cardinals coming off an upset win over the Niners, while the Packers coming off a win against the Rams, I want to say. Jordan Love, he's looking better. That Packers defense has been looked good, and Cardinals to me have been looked too inconsistent this year, and they have to travel, so I'm going to take the Packers. Then you have the Saints versus the Buccaneers. This one could be a very good game a couple weeks ago. However, the Bucs, I think their blitz-heavy defense will cause a ton of problem for Spencer Rattler in his very first start. I don't think that Saints defense is good enough to carry, and that Buccaneers offense is pretty good. And even though the Saints started off really good, their last 3 games have not looked. They've been bad the last 3 games. I'm going to take the Bucs here. Although this is a divisional game, so anything could happen. Then you have your Cowboys versus the Lions. This one should be a very good game. The Lions have looked better the last couple of weeks. They are coming off a bye, and before that they won a shootout versus the Seahawks, where their offense came alive. While the Cowboys, they're coming off a close win versus the Steelers. This one I think is going to be a tight game throughout, but I think the Lions are going to get revenge for last year, so I'm going to take the Lions here. Then you have the Falcons versus the Panthers. On paper, I think Falcons should get this game. They have the better defense. Kirk Cousins has looked better. They have more talent. However, the Panthers have Andy Dalton, who's not played bad, and for some reason, the Falcons tend to struggle versus the Panthers. However, I'm not picking an upset, but if I were to pick an upset, this will be the game. But I still gotta take the Falcons here. Kirk Cousins has just looked much better the last couple of weeks. So there you have it, my NFL Week 6 predictions.